planting has deep roots in the forest industry and is one of the most reliable options for quickly re-establishing vegetation to achieve reclamation objectives. Compared to other approaches like natural regeneration, planting gives trees and shrubs a head start, increasing their ability to withstand competing plants and overcome difficult growing conditions. It also increases predictability and reduces the likelihood of having to return to the site years later to conduct further vegetation work. One key consideration is that planting can be expensive in the short term, and careful planning is necessary to ensure high survival and growth of planted stock. Site conditions should be considered to determine the species, stock type, and planting densities needed to achieve reclamation objectives. It is also essential to order nursery stock early and be prepared to plant shortly after recontouring and site preparation are completed. Plants should be ordered at least a year before planting. When seedlings are planted directly after recontouring activities, they have time to establish and grow before competing vegetation grows back. Delayed planting is less successful and more expensive in the long run. Seedlings planted on sites that are overrun with competing vegetation are less likely to survive and grow. Planting should be carefully timed to avoid frost damage and drying out. Generally, deciduous stock should only be planted from May to mid-June. Coniferous stock can typically be planted from May to late July. Once nursery stock is shipped, several steps are necessary to ensure their quality before they're planted. Seedlings must be kept cool until they're planted. They should be transported and stored in refrigerated or insulated containers. In the field, boxes of seedlings should be stored in the shade or under an insulated tarp and should be planted as quickly as possible. Planting microsites will be determined by site conditions and by the site preparation method used. Wet sites will typically be prepared using large mounds. On these sites, seedlings should be planted at the tops of mounds, where they will be elevated above the water table. On mesic sites that have been mounded, seedlings should be planted at the hinge of the mound. Other site preparation methods like mixing and scalping expose microsites and remove competing vegetation. Seedlings should be planted in the exposed mineral soil. The planting method is also key to a seedling's success. The planting hole needs to be deep enough to accommodate the full length of the roots. If the roots are bent or J-rooted, the tree will grow for several years, but may eventually fall. The root collar should be just below the soil surface to avoid desiccation. In mounded peatlands, slightly deeper planting should be used to account for the settling of mounds. In non-mounded peatlands, the planter must plant the hummocks and should avoid deep planting. Finally, the conditions that allow seedlings to grow are also great for competing vegetation. Competition control is essential on newly planted sites and may include physical barriers, cutting, or targeted herbicide application. As we have seen, planting can provide a level of predictability for reclamation programs that generally cannot be achieved through natural regeneration. A strong regeneration program includes a careful plan, proper storage, quick planting following site preparation, careful planting using microsites, and a vegetation management plan. Planted sites should be monitored, and follow-up activities may include vegetation management and infill planting.